rhythm and beauty to everyone. I'm the Technomage, and by my really forced breathing, I hope you can guess that I am really angry at this moment because of this episode of She-Hulk, episode 8. So let's just get into it. So we begin this episode actually not with the previously on She-Hulk. We begin with, believe it or not, with a meme. Yes, corporate made their own meme, making fun of She-Hulk. I suppose they thought it was going to be something funny. No, they actually ended up making fun of She-Hulk, of the series, because, well, it's this little compilation of scenes of previous episodes. Starts with Hulk from episode 1 telling Jennifer what else they're gonna do as a Hulk. And from all this compilation of scenes, the first one that they show, and the one that gets repeated the most on this little compilation, is of She-Hulk twerking alongside Megan Thee Stallion. Yes, so let's continue. We begin the episode in itself with a couple of burglars stealing plasma TVs from a supermarket or something. Oh, sorry, OLEDs. They are stealing OLEDs from a from a supermarket or some kind of mall. Well, they get interrupted by a vigilante, and then we got to Jennifer's office. So I assume that this new vigilante, which calls himself Leapfrog, didn't do quite well. So he's narrating the story, which is greatly exaggerated. So the point is, Leapfrog gets defeated and he tries to run away with his thruster rocket boots, but his boots fail and he crashes to the ground. And the suit catches fire. So he wants to sue Luke Jacobson, the one who made this faulty suit. But the problem is, if you remember, Luke Jacobson is this genius couturier who specializes with super suits for superheroes, and and is the one who's making Jennifer's gown for the Female Lawyer of the Year gala. And she tells Holloway that she has this conflict of interest, but Holloway tells her that Mr. Patilio is one of our biggest clients. Well, Mr. Patilio Sr., this bloke's father. No, this bloke he's not the biggest client, his father. And Jennifer has to take the case anyway. So he goes to Luke, try to talk to him so they can keep this out of the court, resolve this amicably. But Luke obviously is really offended that Jennifer even suggests the idea that one of his costumes was anything less than perfect. And of course he gets really angry and he refuses to finish Jennifer's gown for the gala, and Jennifer leaves angry, telling him that she will see him in court. And then we go to court. Jennifer is representing Leapfrog, and Luke presents his own counselor, and there is Charlie Cox back again as Matthew Murdock Daredevil. And then we continue with the legal procedures, and Murdock starts quite skillfully destroying Jennifer's case, and she obviously doesn't like it. Hey, watch your mouth, woman, show some respect. So they start discussing the one of Jennifer's basis for the sue is that they need to reach Luke's other clients to make sure that to see if any of them also received faulty equipment, but Murdoch says that they can't do that because the Luke's clients' identities are supposed to be secret because they have enemies, and if their identities are revealed, a lot of people could get hurt. And Matthew, using his heightened senses, detects that there's some strange smell coming from Leapfrog's boots, and Leapfrog reveals that he used jet fuel for the thrusters, and apparently he wasn't supposed to do that. So the case is dismissed because Leapfrog didn't follow the instructions of the suit, and Luke terminally refuses to make Jennifer's gown for the gala. So then we got to the lawyer's bar, where Jennifer is approached by Murdoch, and they start talking, and their talking actually turns into some kind of flirting, but this is cut short because Jennifer receives a message from Todd. Now you may be asking, who is Todd? Todd is one of the men that Jennifer, as She-Hulk, had a date with from the dating app, and it's also the one who is one of her law firm's biggest clients. So he calls her, and the reason why he needs her help is because he acquired a Wakandan war spear from an auction. And no, don't do that, that's cultural appropriation, please don't. And the thing is, yes, he paid $1 million for that spear, but now I suppose the Wakandan embassy contacted him and told him that that spear was stolen by colonizers and they want it returned to Wakanda. But then this legal consultation turns into flirting, and Jennifer flatly refuses him. She goes back home, but then she's contacted by Leapfrog, who tells her that he needs her help because he's been attacked. So Jennifer takes this opportunity to finally reveal her costume, and we finally get to see it, and it's actually fairly comic accurate. So she meets up with Leapfrog in his car, and we meet who is his attacker, and there he is, Daredevil, who now is wearing a also really comic accurate costume. By the way, it's the all red costume that he wore on the Netflix Daredevil series. It is also comic accurate, but this one is more accurate to Daredevil's first costume, the most classic one. So anyway, they begin to fight, and this should have been an really exciting fight scene, but it is get toned down by some really cringy dialogue. Like, seriously, this series cannot take one moment of seriousness seriously, because even Daredevil starts cracking jokes and making silly comments. It's ridiculous. So they continue fighting. Jennifer uses a thunderclap, which knocks Daredevil, and she catches him, and she finds out that it is Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer, whom he just met that very same day on court. and they begin to talk. We say, why are you attacking Leapfrog? Is because he kidnapped Luke Jacobson, the Grand Couturier, and he is holding him hostage. So they both leave to go rescue Luke, and Murdoch tells her that I'm Daredevil, and they had the goal, they dare to, in this moment, to play a segment of the Netflix Daredevil theme song, which is perfect, is a masterpiece on simpleness but also in depth, and they dare to put that genius piece of music on this crappy, shitty, rubbish series. But the problem is, Jennifer has never heard of Daredevil, so since she doesn't recognize him, she doesn't respect him. So they go to the lily pad, the really not so secret base of Leapfrog, and Daredevil uses his heightened senses to detect the amount of henchmen that, the amount of goons they actually have. A really unnecessary this conversation about the difference between henchmen and goons. Well, Daredevil detects the amount of goons present on the secret lair and their locations, and he also uses this to actually start flirting again with Jennifer. So again, Jennifer disrespects him. She doesn't believe that Daredevil knows what he's doing, and she says that your plan is ridiculous, and I have superpowers and you don't. And she says that I'm going to do my thing, but Daredevil reminds her, you don't have a thing because you have never done this before. So he tells her, just follow my lead. I'm going to take care of the goons inside first. So he goes inside, and we have a really good fight scene, which actually is really short, because then more goons arrive, but She-Hulk just smashes the roof and knocks them out all immediately. Then they go where Luke is being held hostage with Leapfrog and the remaining goons, and while Daredevil is kicking their asses, Jennifer begins to lecture Leapfrog about all the legal implication of this. Daredevil also makes some legal comments about the situation, and Jennifer kind of likes that. So Leapfrog tries to escape, but it seems he forgot to refuel his boots, and he just falls to the ground and hurts himself. Jennifer makes pieces with Luke, and Luke agrees to make her gown for the gala, and then she reunites with Daredevil on the roof. And of course, again, more disrespect, because she didn't help Daredevil. Daredevil helped her. So Daredevil says, hey, maybe the next time I'm in town I will invite you to dinner, but Jennifer says, or maybe we can skip all of that and just, yeah, that. I had to see that. And the next morning, Daredevil leaves, still dressed as Daredevil. So then we have this really cringy scene with Jennifer breaking the fourth wall. She is saying that, why are we still here, because the episode should be over. But then, making reference to her previous night with Daredevil in a really cringy and unnecessary way. But then she realizes that next episode is the finale of this series, and this is the big. She starts saying, "Oh, we're going to have a big twist. There is another Hulk, but this one is red. Don't you dare!" Or like, I'm getting fridge. I wish. So she goes to the gala, and they are about to reveal who won the Female Lawyer of the Year award. And it turns out it is not just Jennifer, it's actually 5 female lawyers who all of them won Female Lawyer of the Year. So I'm assuming this award thing, whatever, is actually some kind of token award. So Jennifer is supposed to give her speech, but the projection behind her gets hijacked. But Hulk King, yes, I think it was Hulk King, this internet troll who started revealing personal information about her, telling the people that she's not a real hero and that she stole Hulk's powers, and they actually start showing a lot of personal information, which I think is the information that Josh stole from her cell phone. And then we got to a recording of the night she spent with Josh, and of course she smashes the screens, and understandably so. Now, I know you can see nothing from this image because when Jennifer smashed the screens, all the lights went out and the red emergency lights turned on. And you can see anything here because it's really dark, but there is a group of like 4 or 5 masked men and one of them is recording everything on his cell phone. So Jennifer assumes that he's one of this little group. It has something to do with this really embarrassing reveal, and she goes outside to catch him, and she's screaming like the Hulk, because understandably so, she is really, really angry. But immediately a group of some kind of special forces, which I assume they are from the super prison for super powered villains and criminals, and it seems that she gets arrested. So yes, and by the way, they make a lot of reference of Jennifer having sex with Daredevil during the end credits. Oh, where do I begin with this rubbish? Well, first of all, the series begins with what seems to be an actually serious litigation. I mean, Leapfrog apparently, from his point of view and from at the beginning of the episode, seemed to actually have had an accident caused by faulty equipment, and he wants to sue the manufacturer of the suit. And I was thinking, wow, this sounds like an actual litigation that should have happened on this series previously. Like, this is the kind of cases that the superhuman law division should be taking care of, like superheroes suing manufacturers for faulty equipment, or maybe the city suing new superheroes and vigilantes for causing damage or something like that. Not the ridiculousness that we have had from all these 8 episodes. But now this case quickly becomes a joke, just like everything else. And of course, there is the really big thing about this episode, which is Daredevil. Oh, Charlie Cox, why couldn't you say no? You should have known that there was no way that the return of Daredevil on this series would be anything good, anything decent, anything respectful. You should have known. I mean, haven't you seen the other Disney Plus Marvel series before this one? And of course, Daredevil gets thoroughly mocked and disrespected on this episode because, first of all, he has absolutely no seriousness. He's cracking jokes and making silly comments following this absolutely cringe fest of a dialogue. Jennifer shows him absolutely no respect. She doesn't recognize his skills, his abilities, his experience, even though it's clear that Daredevil has more experience as a superhero than her, and even though she never wanted to be a superhero, but now she thinks that she is an expert superhero, that she knows what to do and all the strategies that she needs, because she's a woman, of course. And I mean, the only time we see Daredevil actually doing something competent is when he worked as a lawyer, because he actually uh, convinced the judge to dismiss Jennifer's allegations. But then it's all the way downhill from there for Daredevil, because they don't treat him with no seriousness and no respect. Like, seriously, Disney, Marvel, shame on you, shame on both of you. This was She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 8. Next week we will have the final episode, and also another thing that I almost forgot to mention. We finally reveal who is the big bad guy of this series, and it is internet trolls. It is not Titania, it is not Absorbing Man, it is not any Marvel villain, no one. It is literally internet trolls. The big bad guys of this series are internet trolls. Oh, I can't wait for next week to just watch the final episode and be done with this series. This is the Technomage signing off. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. Goodbye.